Hello Chiefs, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. This is the next upcoming, I suppose you call it commercial project because I'll be selling them on. I did this box set years ago and I did the Carabiniers, so if I did them in the blue I'll have to go back and do them in the white, but I want to do the Cuirassier this time. Not sure what regiment yet, but it's one of the older Perry boxes, but I quite enjoyed everything. Fitted together last time fine, as you can see. You get your two head swaps, get a couple of arms. We'll have these guys with the sword on point, and get a 10th, 8th, 5th and 2nd Carabiniers. I might go with the 10th, do the pink. Not sure yet, but I thought we'd take a quick look. Right, you get your usual, is it 3 sprues? 3 sprues, or actually 4 of horses. They make up 14 figures. We've got our scabbards there, and you do get obviously the scabbards for the bayonets as well. Again, they've always got some nice poses in the plastic horses. I tend to fill them. I do a bit of filling around. You tend to get a small gap just under there. Sometimes it's noticeable, sometimes it's not, just where these wolf's tooth saddle embroidery stuff is, and the shabraquet. Sorry about arch clopping around. Now, the one thing, I bought these for 20 quid all in, which was a price you could have got probably about 3 years ago, and you can't get them now. You'll notice there's some backpacks, muskets. We've got a British Belgique Chateau, and on the one I bought before there was a couple of casualty figures. Well, as you can see, it's missing here now. The guy who sold me this didn't mention anything missing. I'm not. I mean, I've had them now a few days, and I've already put good feedback. So somebody's obviously had the casualty figures away for whatever reason. But I'm not overly fussed. I don't put the casualties on the bases because I can never fit them on. But I will probably use maybe some of this scatter if it looks appropriate on the base when I get round to it. But yeah, the first time I've opened them, so yeah, I've somebody's whether this guy's sold this on didn't realise or what, but nobody mentioned about those being cut out, which is a bit naughty. It's either they haven't been checked by the person that sold me, and if these aren't his or hers, or yeah, as I say, they've had the casualty figures out. But lovely looking horses. I'll say the casualty figures aren't a deal breaker. I'll make my money selling the painted cavalry rather than the casualties. A lot of people use them for casualty markers. Yeah, all the figures are missing on these. But I have got who I bought them off, so I shall remember to be extremely cautious if I buy off this person again. As I say, it's although I probably wouldn't. In fact, I still believe I've got the casualties from the last box that I painted all these years ago. It's not a huge thing, but it's just, if things are missing, you say they're missing. That's all. That's my only point. But they were 20 quid, as I say, and hopefully I can turn a profit with them and get some enjoyment, because I enjoy painting cavalry. I was trying to paint those French hussars, and I just came to a script. I just could not. The regiment I decided to go with, I was just not happy with either the green or the red, and I kept saying to myself, well, just go with some other regiment, but I just couldn't push myself to do it. So I've got half a dozen of those made up, but I can't touch them, so I don't really have to worry about too much, apart from collar and cuffs, and most of the cuffs are taken up with the gauntlets, if you're going to be seen at all. So I don't really have to worry too much. Looks like there's 2 trumpeter figures on with these. I don't know if they're both the same. Why they decide to put two trumpeter figures on, I have no idea. They didn't, obviously the trumpeters, as far as I'm aware, somebody will pop up and tell me different, the trumpeters didn't have the breastplates on that the cuirassier did. So they'll be more or less the same colour as you saw on the box art, except for, depending on what, I most probably go with the pink, as I've never done the pink on the cuirassiers before. Do them in metallics. I'm not gonna go fancy and try and do non-metallics on them and that. Just fancy doing some 28s. I've been really bogged down in the 13mm epic range, and I've not enjoyed painting the French whatsoever that I've painted at the moment. I've still got the flesh to do on them and finish off some belt work before I can do the very last little bits of touch-ups on them and then start basing them. But they'll be ready for a show and tell next week probably. This ruff here is like it's just obviously stopped the chafing of the breastplate, and it sticks out. It's normally red with a white outside piping. The short tails, and these are the 1812 or 1810. Is it 1810 upwards? But at least they are all here. I say not a lot to do with them. You can pose the head slightly one way or the other. You can move the arms up and down. Not a great deal else you can do. Sometimes hard to get the hand tends to float above the reins. Sometimes I'll go to the trouble of putting in some reins up there just to say, and out the top just to say he's holding on to them. We'll see. The problem is that I wasn't actually going to get these. Came up. I was looking for some other cavalry because I've got a hankering to do some conversions. Just a little vignette in 28mm. And these are more of the horses, but as you can see, 28mm. They really are. You know, they've got the lovely poses to them. The only thing I don't normally like. I can't remember if I chobbled out the reins on these last time or not. I don't like the infill on the reins, but I can't remember if I actually did anything about that last time or not. We'll see. I don't think I had all my burring tools when I did these. So. Now the pistol covers on, imagine, for the officer or the trumpeter. I'm not exactly sure which. Right, so that's it. Oh, and you get obviously the usual Perry. I'm getting a huge collection of these now. Perry bases that come with them. I just prefer my MDF. I know where I am with the MDF. I usually stick them on 50x50 bases. They're usually 2mm thick. So yeah, that's the next project coming up. Let's just get the box out again, underneath all this plastic that I've just chucked on top. That's the next, when I say project, it's, as I say, it's more like paid work, if I get to sell them. As I say, I enjoy doing the Napoleonics, painting them. But these are, obviously they're alluding to the casualties you get there, but obviously somebody's had those away. But we can still use some of the scatter. If in fact the scatter would probably work better on the bases than the full-on casualties, because it's trying to fit them in without making it look too ridiculous, if that makes sense. So yeah, thanks for stopping by and taking a look. So it's French Napoleonic heavy cavalry, 1812, which is the Bardine change in uniform era, 1812 to 1815. Hard plastic. They're always good value, not just in value, but you know, there's not a lot. The only ones I've ever had problems with was the early American Civil War. I didn't think it was massively convincing with the different KP and forage hats and stuff like that. They weren't sitting on the heads properly because they're obviously multi. You could use different hats, and they just, for me, yeah, they didn't look great. and they was quite softly moulded. These are older, so they may, you know, be some soft moulding to them, but I don't believe there was when I did them last time. I was quite happy with them. Yeah, you know, it's when these came up for 20 quid, I thought, yeah, why not? I might go back. Oh, the other one that I had trouble with was this shooting pose here on the British Rifleman. I had to lose all my shooting poses because I just could not get the arms to sit to the bodies. They just refused. So, but they were very enjoyable to do. I really enjoyed those. Well, I do mean to go back to them and do a different regiment of some description. But in the UK, obviously, they're always going to be red. Always going to be red coats, which I don't mind. Yeah, I will get back and do another unit of those at some stage. I only go with the plastics more over the metals. It's just that because I do it commercially, metals will often sell better than plastics, but you can get times when you just like the 40mm Perry stuff just didn't sell. Not one single figure out the, was it the 4 or the, I think it's 4, 2, 4, 6 maybe I've got. Yeah, none of them sold. And when you take a hit like that, you've had to buy them, you spent a load of time painting them. Whereas the plastics, if they don't sell, I've not lost a lot of money, if that makes sense. You know, it's 20 quid, you know, instead of close to like 40, 45 quid. So, you know, it's that's why I tend to do the plastics more. Right, I'm going to go as Archie's deciding to have a right old investigate of all the different boxes I've got lying around at the moment. I am trying at present to do 18mm metal bayonets on you know, clip bayonets off and solder them. Not going great. Let's put it that way. Not at the moment, but we you know, we'll get there. Never soldered before, and I'm suddenly realising I need a pair of them helping hand things to hold them because I haven't got 3 pairs of hands. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Look after yourselves. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.